Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Wednesday, April the 9th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Eric Amber's parents purchased this furniture store in the 1970s, and he was put to work when he was 9 years old.
I was opening boxes, putting things together, you know, and I grew up but when I was 18, I became a salesperson, you know, so I've been here against my will for 40 years, you know, and I've seen it all.
During the pandemic, Amber started writing down all the humorous stories he could remember about staff and customers over the years, and it turned into a movie script.
Hi, I'm Marty Benson, and this is my sister Barb. My parents, who own this business, they made me promise not to put any swear words in the movie, but there's one or two.
Pat Downing works at the store and helped with the script. He was tasked with directing the movie and enjoyed watching the scenes come to life a little too much.
I have a bad habit because I like to laugh, and so it's very hard when you're the director to be ruining scenes because, like, oh, please, Mr. Director, stop ruining the takes. The actors, like, they're giving it their all, and you're like, can we do that again because it's my fault.
Eric's sister, Renee, also started working at the store when she was young.
My first job was dusting until I broke too many things, and then I moved up to customer service, so answering the phones at 12 years old.
Not surprisingly, she was cast as the sister to the lead character played by Eric.
You don't react to information like a normal person.
I am a normal person. It's everyone else out there that's berserk.
Eric hopes to use the movie as a pilot for a series he's currently writing, and there's no end to the content that customers provide.
In some ways, it's like it's for me and my friends and family, you know, but I think people, you know, will enjoy it as well. Yeah. Oh, pardon us. Sorry, we're just shooting a little video here.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Local designer Keenan Gregory is opening up a new record, Royal Tusk's latest album, Altruistic. He's in it for more than the music. He designed this album cover. He worked in corporate design for a decade before exploring a more personal art, using his digital pencil to create album cover artwork along with its musical artists.
In order to make it good, I think you have to collaborate. It's the only way to make something bigger than you.
One of his frequent collaborators is Royal Tusk. His latest work for the band won him a Juno Award for Album Artwork of the Year.
It's nuts. Yeah, overwhelming, humbling. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Gregory says he spent months working with the band to create not just the cover, but other pieces to create a unified look for the entire Altruism album.
We had some conversations about what altruism looks like in a modern day and age, to have a truly selfless act and show kindness towards someone else without it being filmed.
That collaboration between artists in the age of AI is crucial, says industry expert Eric Alper.
I think that Junos specifically are looking for the future at making sure that the winners, or at least the nominees in the categories, did actually come from human beings.
Not only like collaborate together and explore, but relax and play. And I think that part's crucial. If you leave that last step out, sometimes you also leave out the thing that resonates with people.
Gregory is at work on several other projects, including other album covers and his own band's records.
I should be just soaking up this, but it just makes me want to make more.
Using his creativity to turn music into a picture you can hold. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Jim Sutton looks around, finally unpacking after his latest volunteer tour in North Carolina, and many people still need his help.
My boss on my last deployment had a wonderful line. He always said that if you're looking to help people, Team Rubicon is a good place to be, and if you're looking to help yourself, Team Rubicon's a great place to be.
Sutton is a member of Team Rubicon Canada. The volunteer organization sends veterans and retired first responders to provide disaster relief. From deadly fires in Jasper to hurricanes down south, Sutton always answers the call. And last November, he saw it firsthand.
Holy mackerel. When you come from a flat place like Winnipeg and you go to a place like North Carolina where everything is either uphill or downhill and everything's in the bottom of a gully and all that rain comes to the bottom of the gully and whatever's in it just gets swept away, It was horrific.
While weather disasters don't scare him, neither does the current political climate in the U.S.
If you walk by a swimming pool and someone's drowning, you don't ask them what church they go to or what political party they voted for. You pull them out of the pool.
In fact, he went back in March and didn't think twice about helping Americans in need. As many Canadians are turning their backs on southern neighbors,
a lot of people in Canada are liking becoming our beautiful, cherished 51st state.
This University of Manitoba ethics professor says it can be a moral dilemma.
When the immediate emergency is passed, then other considerations come into play, and our sense of our duty to help will be only minimal if our neighbor has been acting in a way that's outright hostile.
Sutton says he won't hesitate to help if called on again, despite the strained relationship between the U.S. and Canada. Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We're going to make soap. UPEI students Samuel Harding and Maggie McNeil are co-presidents of the Enactus Club that came up with a way to make soap out of unharvested potatoes.
And eventually we just had to go back to basics and look at, okay, what are the problems on PEI? And then we saw food waste, right? Of course, one of the problems we found was around potatoes. And eventually one of our team members went to a food bank and said, hey, what do you guys need? And the surprising answer was hygiene products.
After experimenting on 500 pounds of less than perfect potatoes, Spuds to Suds was in bloom.
We have a sort of a roster of farmers we constantly are in contact with. See if they have food waste or potatoes that they would otherwise not be selling.
After we have it kind of like at a liquid state, we add some other ingredients like our soap bases and then some like hydrating oils. And then we put it in a mold and we let it sit and solidify.
Harding says the group is made up of 17 volunteer students with one goal in mind, supporting the community. So with every bar of soap sold, they're giving one back to the local food bank.
People, whenever we were talking about it, were like, wow, that's a great idea. It's really cool. And it makes you feel good.
PEI citizens are very community strong, so they love to see when people are giving back and have a good cause. So
the soap itself is getting some good reviews too.
Personally, I've gone through 2 bars so far. Since we started making them, I have them at my house. I like them. My hands get dry in the wintertime a lot, so they crack, but like the hydrating oils that we put in, it really helps with that.
The soap has already cleaned up an Atlantic Canadian Award and secured them a spot in a national competition in Calgary this May. But still, they're more focused on online sales and club longevity.
As fourth-year students, like, we have to pass the club on to someone else now, and the club is Spuds to Suds, right? So it really is sort of a legacy item for us where we really don't want to see it die, especially after putting so many hours into it.
Josh Smith, CTV News, Charlottetown.
5 years ago, Gabrielle Santerre had no chance of being here. This jersey and the team it represents didn't exist, but now she's stepping onto home ice as a national champion.
Just so proud of myself. I'm proud of what I have accomplished, but nothing is comparing to what we just experienced this year.
In just her second year at Bishop's, Santerre is a standout. Like so many other girls, she started playing on a boys' team, transitioning to women's hockey as a teenager.
My first few months with women's hockey was kind of hard. I was in the penalty box quite often.
She led the league in points this season and is the only women's player in Quebec University hockey history to be named Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. Santerre turned down 2 full scholarships at D1 universities in the States from hockey powerhouses Clarkson and Colgate to play here instead.
A lot of people were questioning my decision of choosing Bishop, like a young program. Not a lot of people would have thought that. But I like to do the things my own way.
Including helping to build the women's hockey program. For head coach Valérie Blois, that first year meant doing everything.
Actually full-time coaching, but also doing toute autre tâche connexe, très large. I was doing the Zamboni, front desk, and coaching.
Yes, you heard that right.
So you were coaching the women's hockey team and driving the Zamboni after practice?
Yes.
In the finals, it faced the University of Waterloo, a school with an enrollment nearly 15 times higher. Santerre scored the opening goal in a 3-0 victory, capping off her sophomore season with the top prize.
I made like a dream board when I first came here, and it was to win the national. And in my head, there was no way that I would accomplish that in 2 years.
Santerre hopes to play in the PWHL, but not before finishing her university career with Bishops and possibly a few more national championships. Kelly Gregg, CTV News, Lennoxville.
Private for a high school gym, sneaking a cupcake. These are my memories. These are my memories.
Malachi McCaskill says when you are a big, black, queer man, it can be hard to find a play which speaks directly to you. But that's what the North Carolina theater student found when he first listened to the cast recording of the musical A Strange Loop.
I remember just sobbing after listening to the whole Broadway track, and I knew from that moment that I would be playing that role.
While studying for a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, he was cast to play the lead role of Usher in the first touring production of the Tony Award and Pulitzer Prize-winning play in San Francisco. And now he's taking on the role again in Soul Pepper's Canadian premiere. Directed by Montreal-born and now Toronto resident Ray Hogg.
So Usher is a fat, black, queer writer who's writing a musical about a fat, black, queer writer who's writing a musical about a fat, black, queer writer, and you see the strange loop. He comes from a religious family from Detroit, and he's highly educated, has a master's degree from NYU, and his parents want him to pay them back by writing a Tyler Perry-style gospel play, which to Usher is just the worst.
We see him go through this process of writing this show, all while figuring out who he is within this very convoluted intersectionality of what his identity is.
In the world of entertainment, it's hard to avoid the American influence. After all, Strange Loop is no different. It's written by an American and stars an American. But director Ray Hogg says that this is very much a Canadian production.
This is absolutely one of those shop local Canadian productions. Our entire team is Canadian. All of the conceiving creatively of the show, from my direction, Rodney Diverlis's choreography, our entire design team. This show is definitely filtered through a Canadian lens.
In dealing with life's challenges, playing the role of Usher has taught the 23-year-old your flaws are what makes you.
It shows you that your life has worth. Every single person, every single identity that is within the community has worth, and your life is worthy. You are worthy of life. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Is that perspiration or is that tears?
A little bit of both.
A Strange Loop is currently in rehearsal. Previews begin on April 22nd and runs until June 1st at Soul Pepper Theatre. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Despite facing significant health challenges throughout her life, Angèle Labelle was described as a vibrant presence, known for her resilience and joy.
Angèle was diagnosed with epilepsy as soon as she was born. She used to have 250 seizures a day for the first 2 years of her life. She also had cerebral palsy. She was deafblind.
Last spring, she ended up in the hospital unexpectedly, experiencing problems with her lungs.
She would not have quality of life if we would have continued to try to keep her alive for us, which was being selfish. Therefore, we decided to have the process of ending her life and got in with Trillium Gift of Life Nation and our network, and we were able to make sure that we're going to be donating her organs.
With her passing at 27 years old, Angèle became the first donor in Northeastern Ontario to participate in the Heart in a Box program. It's a portable device that maintains a donor heart in a beating oxygenated state for up to 12 hours.
The process is very different and difficult in Canada. We only donate a small fraction of hearts due to the way the organ donation process takes place. This new technique has given us the opportunity to increase that pool by up to 20 to 30%. It was the third time this was done in Canada.
May 9th will mark 1 year since Angèle's passing. The family has reached out to the woman in the U.S. who received her heart in hopes of connecting in time for the anniversary. In the meantime, the family is hoping by sharing her story, others will be inspired to sign their consent for donation. Lindsay Alex, CTV News, Sudbury.
Ottawa is buzzing with excitement as the Senators inch closer to ending an 8-year playoff drought. And diehard fans like Diana Thomas are already dreaming of spring playoff hockey.
I am so excited.
Thomas has been a season ticket holder for almost 25 years, following the team through its ups and downs.
We've gradually come from the 300s to the 200s. We're now in the 200s at the blue line. Can't wait for playoffs.
After years of rebuilding, the Sens can clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2017 with a win tonight in Columbus. Local businesses like Buster's Bar and Grill know what that means.
It's huge for us, the farther they go, I hope every game goes into double overtime. And we win every time, but it's just the excitement, everything's, the whole city just comes alive.
Yeah, everybody's got a little bit of a jump in their step these days.
The Sens organization says they're ready with tickets and events lined up for fans of all ages.
Looking at what can we do outside in the plaza to activate that plaza, bands and whatnot. We're looking at opening patios, possibly for restaurants. Can we do that? Trying to bring in our best anthem singers.
I'm a volunteer for them for 23 years.
As the buzz for playoff hockey grows across the city, excitement is also building behind the scenes with dedicated volunteers who've been part of the team for decades.
We're called the Goodwill Ambassadors, and we do handouts. We may have to put towels on the seats before the playoff games. It's an exciting time for us.
Alan Kyer was one of the original fans who pledged $25 to secure a seat and help bring the Sens back to Ottawa. He's guaranteeing a win tonight.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but I think when they get in, I think you'll see the city rise to the occasion. Yes, and the restaurants will be full and people will spend money locally too. Yeah.
And through it all, fans like Diana Thomas will be suiting up for every game.
I always wear it. When it's a hockey day, I have a number of Senator shirts. I wear them on play dates.
The Sens last made the playoffs in 2017 when they lost in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Spring may have officially sprung, but it seems spring-like conditions are playing catch-up.
This year especially has been pretty unpredictable. We've seen a few warm days and then a few really cold days.
Days that are dampering planting plans for people trying to get ahead in the garden.
I wouldn't be too anxious yet to get out in the garden, especially these cold nights coming up. There's no benefit to the plants to be out in this weather.
If you already got a head start on gardening season, there's no need to panic. Experts say there's a way to protect your plants and your pocketbook.
Move them inside, in the house, in the garage, overnight, the next night or two with this extreme cold. If that's not possible, if they're planted in the garden maybe, then covering them. An old blanket, bed sheet, not plastic.
While gardeners wait for a warm-up, the experts say the best thing to do now is plan and prep.
Maybe turning soil, adding fresh compost, manure, that type of thing, so that when the weather is great, you're good to go.
Landscapers are also gearing up for gardening season despite a slower start.
We haven't really started much just because the ground is a little too frozen and the grass hasn't started to grow enough to do thatching and fertilizing yet.
But they say there's no such thing as jumping the gun on some tasks.
If the weather's nice enough and you're ambitious enough to get out and start doing your yard cleanup, by all means, have at it.
Now, people won't have to wait too long to hit the garden or the yard. Experts say the season will get fully underway in a couple of weeks. Tony?
Alexandra, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
We want to kind of be like the rest of our brothers and have one as well.
Academy St. Cecile is preparing to add an NHL-sized rink to its main building.
With recruitment, it's a huge sell to say, hey, you're going to be able to live, eat, study, and play hockey all on campus.
The project, which is expected to cost between $6 and $8 million, was given the green light Monday night by the city's Development and Heritage Standing Committee. Because the school is a heritage building, brickwork on the arena will have to match the existing building to the tune of close to $350,000. Administration agreed to compromise on the amount of brickwork, with details to come.
There's going to be some brickwork on this, but again, it's set back in an area that really won't be really totally visible, so it's not going to stand out as something that you would say, what the heck is that from the road?
The new facility will have student seating, video streaming capabilities, and a new weight room. Locker rooms are currently being built in the original building, which will see players walk through a short tunnel to the ice surface.
It's really a game changer when you see the schools that we play, whether it's Ridley College, Upper Canada College, Appleby.
The Stallions play in the Midwest Prep Hockey League, where they finished first in their division in their second year of play. Because they use city rinks, Academy St. Cecile is mainly a travel team because of ice availability.
It's definitely going to open up doors for us to attract schools here. I'm busy right now also with Detroit Catholic Central and Brother Rice to play a home and away next year, so it's really exciting.
The addition could be done as early as next spring and will free up 25 hours of city ice.
I think you'll see other groups will move in because there are other schools that are using ice during the day. So I assume that it won't leave more ice open. It'll just give more opportunities for other organizations.
The project will now go before council for approval in early May. If things go well, this NHL-sized rink in this area could start being built in the fall. Stephanie?
Exciting. Okay, Bob Belichico tonight. Thank you, Bob.
When Damon Langlois visited the beach as a boy, he never would have imagined how inspiring sand would become.
I never really looked at the sand as an artistic medium.
But then Damon met a co-worker who sculpted with sand, was invited to try it, and connected with a creative process he describes as intense relaxation.
So I basically dove headfirst into the deep end of competitive sculpting.
Damon went on to win 5 world championships and earn a Guinness record for tallest sandcastle before being hired to travel to Kuwait and become creative director of the biggest sand sculpture park ever made and immerse people in the stories of the Arabian Nights.
It's like a graphic novel that you went through.
Over 7 months, Damon researched the stories and designed scenes to tell them before working with more than 70 of the globe's top talents to build 6 football fields worth of awe-inspiring wonder.
And you're looking up at these sculptures that are towering above you. Literally, tears were coming to my eyes. It's like, I can't believe this is happening. This is my life's work, you know. And then the storms hit.
The worst storm in 50 years, Damon was told. 3 days of relentless rain.
We watched the park just literally get destroyed in front of us.
The team was defeated, and Damon wondered how they could possibly recover.
I gave an underdog football coach speech to the team. The Europeans kind of all rolled their eyes, and all the North Americans were like, yeah!
But in the end, all the artists were inspired to become characters in a real-life tale about overcoming adversity.
The opportunity to be heroes, right? To come back from this devastation and still make something beautiful, which we did.
And now, a decade later, Damon is publishing a book about the project titled Stories in the Sand, featuring his version of the Arabian Nights tales, illustrated with pictures from the sculpture park.
I would say it's a masterpiece of sand sculpture.
Made by artists teaching a masterclass in resilience. And, after all the beauty they rebuilt eventually being blown away, a lesson in letting go. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Langford.